Can you hear? Ooh, can you hear me now? Thank you so much, guys. Can you hear me now? I did not know I was having audio problems. I was just talking. Hold on, let me go back to the beginning. Let me know. Drop in the comments, please, if you can hear me. Don't y'all hate that? I send a lot of voice notes. Oh, well, hold on. Let me not assume y'all can even hear me now. Yes, okay. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna start over. I'm gonna start over, and we can start with a new. We can start with energy clearing again, actually, because clearly your girl was not on top of it. Give me 1 second. I want to get a singing bowl. Okay. Julia, Taylor, thank you guys so much for being here. And thank yourself, as I mentioned earlier, thank yourself for being here. I'm going to start over because I'm going to be saving this. I'm going to be saving the live. So sorry if you watch my commercial, my little intro already. I'm going to do it again. Give me 1 second.
I just landed in another atmosphere. I'm just floating in a still sphere. I beg to have questions like where did I come from?
Okay. So we're back. We're back and we're better. Thank you for being here. My name is Lauren Victoria. I'm a mental health therapist and spiritual life coach, and I specialize in the intersection of healing and wellness through mental health and spirituality. In this video, in today's new moon circle, we're going to be taking a look at the astrology for this particular moon phase. We'll look at some transits and some symbology. We'll also get into some journaling prompts, which I'm very excited about. I'll do a collective tarot reading to prepare us for the year ahead. And then I have a sound bath meditation for us, just so we can kind of close out the night at a high vibration. So I got started earlier silently before technical issues. I got started by just creating a space for us to let go of energy that is not serving us right now. Many times we go on throughout the day being disappointed, being frustrated, feeling angry, feeling anxious, and carrying that along with us from place to place. So I want to hold space for us right now to take a moment and really tune in to the present, decide to let those things that aren't serving you go. And I have a little prayer. It's not denominational, not religious or specific faith based, but I do have a little prayer on the screen that you can also tap into if you would like to use it. So I'm going to clear the energy by reading it, and you can choose what you prefer. I also have some yerba santa and some cinnamon. I love burning cinnamon, especially in the morning to kind of get my house in order. Oh, I guess I'm not going to burn it. Damn. Okay, never mind. Well, I'm going to, I guess, grab the bowl. It's a good thing I went and got it. I'll use a sound bowl to clear the energy in them and on my end. Let's release any tension you might be feeling. Allow yourself to be present and to be grateful for this very moment. Okay, well, let's jump right in. So, what is The meaning of a new moon. Why are we here? Why are we doing a new moon circle? Um, so, everything in nature, right? Everything in nature's life moves on cycles and moves in seasons. Down from human beings, our lives of being born and having a time to die, to the food that we eat. I think it's easier sometimes for us to feel like to forget and be disconnected from this aspect of nature because we live in a society that can get you genetically modified strawberries when it's not strawberry season, and you can get whatever food you want from global imports and exports. But it is true that in our lives there is a time and a place for everything that's given organically. The new moon symbolizes a time for introspection, and it represents new beginnings as we plant seeds for the future. So you can think about, planting a seed for a flower or for food. Maybe you grow cucumbers. When you plant a seed, you put it down underneath the dirt, right? So it is technically in darkness. Even as humans, we are born, many species are born in darkness within the wombs of their mother, as are our ideas and our manifestations, right? They are born kind of from this internal, introspective place, and we do work then to manifest them on the outside. So think about what plans you want, right? What seeds are you trying to plant for 2023? And we'll move forward in consideration with that. New moons are a good time to set intentions for the lunar cycle ahead, clarify your goals, start new projects, and reflect on your growth since the previous phase. So I know it says, it talks about starting new projects again. It's kind of representing birth in the lunar cycle, but it is a kind of like introspective again, right? So we don't want to move too fast. It's not about immediate action and, kind of rushing into things. It's really about strategizing and making intentional plans, right? To move in your best wishes. So if we have a new moon right now, then and it is a time of kind of introspecting and making plans, then we know that that is influenced by the sign of Capricorn. So right now, the new moon is in Capricorn. Capricorn traits are on a high vibrational end, disciplined, ambitious, dependable, very practical, determined, long term in terms of thinking and goal setting, very organized. And as you can see, it is represented by the ram or the goat, right? That can climb mountains very ambitiously and feels comfortable in a lot of places that some people would be afraid, right? Or some people would rationalize isn't feasible to achieve. But at the same time, as we see on this bottom end, there is also a shadow side of what happens sometimes when we are in excess of that energy. We can become rigid, we can become egotistic, we can lose sight of ourselves and dedicate ourselves completely to work. It can also become materialistic. So, especially in our capitalistic society, when we are trying to achieve our goals, it can become more so about the status of getting to that place, or who or it's real easy to get caught up in the sauce trying to keep up with the Joneses. So it's important to kind of think about a balance, right? We want to try to be balanced while we're looking into setting our intentions, right? The new moon, giving birth to ideas in a way that does not sacrifice our emotions, right? That doesn't sacrifice self care, that doesn't sacrifice our compassion for others. Does that make sense, y'all? Let me know too if you're here. Tell me what your sign is. Tell me what your sign is and how you've been feeling in this particular moon phase, or perhaps this week in general. I'll keep going in the meantime. What are the important planetary transits surrounding this? So, what I know and what I found to be the most important extra factors, right? Outside of just the moon's placement, there are tons of heavenly bodies that are influencing our actions too, as above, so below. But what's most important is a square aspect. The new moon in Capricorn is squaring Chiron right now. Aries, okay, we love our fire signs. JS, is this who I think it is? Hey girl. The moon right now is squaring Chiron. So this is asking us to acknowledge and heal our trauma. And it's reminding us that this is a prerequisite for reaching our highest potential. When we are in the pursuit of our dreams and our goals, it's easy sometimes to detach from our own personal needs, right? I see clients, I talk about it every day, where they are working 10 hours a day, right? Or 70 hours a week. And they don't know the last time that they like sat down and did any form of self-care. Or on the other end, people in work environments that are actively antagonistic, memories, trauma from college experiences, PWIs, HBCUs, right? Many times we are Janique, hello, Janique. Many times we are trying to figure out how we can push forward and forgetting that the most important part, the most important factor in reaching your goals is being of sound heart and mind, right? Having peace. Because the energy that you radiate, the energy that you set here for yourself is going to be the energy that you attract. That's the law of attraction. So if I wake up and I go to work and I'm feeling miserable and I'm exhausted and I'm feeling depressed and I put myself on the back burner, that's going to show up in other aspects of my life too. And simultaneously, right, if I have beliefs, if I've suffered trauma or, abuse, whatever the case is, that tells me that I'm not capable of achieving my goals, that can also be very much placing a glass ceiling above our own trajectory. So with that in mind too, right? The moon is trine Uranus. So a trine is an aspect that is auspicious. It is asking, basically inviting collaboration of those energies. And Uranus is the planet of innovation. It is radical. It's like, screw all of y'all, I'm gonna do me. So the new moon in Capricorn and this trine Uranus is really telling us to consider room for innovation and experimentation. Um, Lifelong quote, right, that we still use to this day because it's so valid. Apparently, Einstein said it. Insanity is trying to do the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Some of us have room to try new things. Some of us need to try a new way of going about something. That doesn't mean giving up on your goals completely, although maybe it's time to reevaluate and revisit. But if what you have been trying to do to get to your goals has not been working, it's time to shift, especially when it comes to being radical in your authenticity. Sometimes things don't work for us because we're trying to duplicate somebody else's process. Yeah. Sometimes we can't get to our success or reach our highest self because we're trying to become somebody else's highest self, right? Because they laid the formula out and they were like, this is what I did and this is how I got there, and you're doing the research. But that was what worked for them. And it doesn't mean we can't pull inspiration from others, but you also have to be dedicated to your own life, right? And even down to, again, that square Chiron, your process, her process, his process, somebody else's process won't work for you because you have your own internal things that you have to master, right? You have your own mindset, you have your own behaviors, you have your own energy to really rectify. We can pull influence from others, but at the end of the day, know that it's about mastering yourself, really about mastering yourself. And I don't know if I explained it, but by the way, a square aspect is one that presents a bit of a challenge, like a roadblock, right? So that's why I mentioned trauma specifically around reaching your goals, around your ambitions, any experiences, roadblocks that you may have experienced. Those are going to be worth reflecting on in this new moon, because we can use this new moon to, yes, set intentions, but we can also reflect back and see, okay, what worked? What hasn't worked before? What can I change? Where can I innovate, right? How can I use this trine Uranus energy to innovate and bring a new perspective? I want to also briefly touch on the numerology of 2023. I've been doing some research, and it very much is in alignment with even this new moon that we're in right now. 2023 is a 7 year, so it is representing the number 7 in numerology, because we have 2 plus 2 plus 3. And 7 is a number of spirituality. It is also a number of scientific research. So it is definitely about melding, right? We want to do our research. We want to strategize. We want to be planning and intentional about the moves that we're taking. I would not recommend like rushing into things. So, like I said, you may have your goals and your intentions set for 2023. And you may feel like you have to start on January 1st. If you have your ducks in a row, by all means go at it, right? But on the other end, do not send yourself rushing into anything where you might end up falling flat on your face. You want to be prepared. You want to be prepared. So take your time, right? This is a year of quality over quantity. Really put your best efforts into what you have coming up, and it will show, right? You will reap those rewards, but you have to be patient. And again, this new moon in Capricorn is reminding us, yes, we can be ambitious, we can set our goals, we can move forward. But we want to balance. We want to find balance between ambition and rigidity, ruthlessness, right? We want to be dependable and hardworking, but we don't want to overwork. We don't want to be demanding on others. We need to be open to flow, right? Keep ourselves open to flow. And I know that can be hard for that Capricorn kind of bullheaded mentality, but we can do it. We can do it. So in the meantime, go ahead, and if you're with me still, I have some journaling prompts. You can journal them in your actual paper if you have one with you. You can also, hi KK, how you doing? You can journal one in your notebook if you have it with you. You can also type in the comments, type in the chat, like if you have any responses. I would very much appreciate it. I want us to not just be here to listen to me, but like be able to learn and grow with each other. So with the questions on the screen, I'll kind of take the lead and I'll go first with one of them. Let's see. I think that for me, something coming up, journal prompt number 1 is definitely, definitely coming up strong. How can let me see. I want to share. There we go. Let me know if y'all can still see the screen, the journal prompts, but I just wanted to kind of come chat and say that, you know, my relationship with stillness and rest has really been challenged over the past few years of my life. I have always been very high achieving and a busybody, basically. I find that a lot of women, especially Black women, tend to be perhaps too much, right? Overcompensatingly. But I, for a very long time, could not sit still without feeling extreme anxiety. And I find that anxiety sometimes is a beautiful, beautiful reminder of like, hey, there's still work to do, right? When we can really get in alignment with our anxiety, which is really our body communicating to us, when we can get it under control and move in alignment with it, it's just reminding us, hey, you know, there's something to do. No problem, Taylor. Thank you for being here. Um, I am now trying to, well, since, coming from panic attacks, coming from anxiety attacks and depression and, complete burnout, I moved to Mexico actually 6 months ago after a very traumatic, overworking time in my life so that I could learn to reacquaint myself with stillness, with rest, and not feel bad about it, right? Not guilt myself about it, or not feel like I'm being weak or I'm going to fail, right? Recognizing that my wellness, my well being is more important than what I can produce. And that doesn't mean that like I quit working completely. That doesn't mean that I stopped trying to produce security in the real world. But I also recognize that if I am sick, I need to take sick time. If I am exhausted, I need to rest, and whatever project, whatever, responsibility, the world will not end if I push it off. So my relationship with stillness and rest has become one now of trying to embrace it. I wake up in the morning and I sometimes I still feel that angst and that, nervous energy in my body. But I'm trying to work with it. So I'll drink my tea. I'll sit and I'll breathe. I'll do my yoga or I'll belly dance, right? So that I'm able to kind of calm my nerves and then actually sit and rest. And stillness and rest is essential, right? We have to learn to become comfortable with it, at least at some point, right? At least for good sleep. We at least have to be able to sleep well. But okay, I'm going to give you guys some more time with these prompts. And I'll be right back. I'm going to go journal. I'm going to go grab my tarot cards, okay? Give us our reading. Julia, why are you struggling? Tell me what's going on when you find yourself sitting in stillness or you find yourself sitting in silence. Julia, you find yourself avoiding it altogether. Well, yeah, sit still and reflect on these prompts. um, you know what though? I've had experience with running, right? Finishing grad school, particularly. When I finished grad school, me and my friends, a lot of us, we're adults. So we were working full time. I had a side business, we have other responsibilities. So we were used to going 1,000 miles a minute for, a few years. And at the end of the school year, when I tell you, my friends physically got sick because we couldn't handle the transition from having something to do all day to having free time. I had anxiety out of this world. I could not, I always felt like I was forgetting something. I always felt like, even literally nothing to do, my body had not gotten acquainted to sitting and resting. I want to show you guys something. And, I'm sorry, it's the therapist, it's the nerd in me. I have to show you something that I talk about with my clients all the time because, yes, I know, we come at this from a spiritual angle because a lot of us understand the energy. But there are very clear biological aspects to stress, right? Running on go, to not having a relationship with rest. And this that I'm about to show you may kind of be a lot. It may kind of be a lot. But don't worry, I'm going to read you through it. I'm going to read you through it so that it makes sense. Hold on, get ready for the switch. Okay. So let me blow this up so we can really see what's happening. So stress, right? Let's start on the left side of the screen. You see there's an arrow pointing upward. And what this arrow represents is arousal. So that is our stress levels. Way back in the day, right? Arousal or stress was usually a matter of life or death. I mean, way back in the day, right? Like prehistoric. This was usually life or death, right? So there's a fire in the village. There is a bear chasing me. Somebody is threatening my life. JS, you can get therapy with me by visiting thahighestpriestess.com. I offer therapy for Illinois residents only. Legally, I can only give mental health therapy to Illinois residents, but I do offer spiritual mentoring, life coaching, tarot, and chakra reading if you want those types of alternative services. You can visit thahighestpriestess.com and use code EVOLVE for $15 off your first service. Okay, back to the screen. Thank you for asking, JS. Janique. So back to the screen, right? Typically, our anger or our arousal was life or death based. Nowadays, in this very, first world, first world experience, we can feel life or death stress, right? The same amount of arousal for something as quote unquote small as having a homework assignment, right? We can have that same amount of stress about having to go outside because there's a blizzard, right? There's the same amount of stress. And our brains, because we are still animals, our brains cannot distinguish. Our mind can, right? The big old, the cute, very innovative, and I think, therefore I am. The philosophical brain can. The body cannot distinguish the difference. So what happens is going to the middle, right? We see the green, pink, and blue. In the green section, when we are feeling calm, when we're feeling present and happy, we are able to we're able to connect with our environment. We're oriented, we're feeling mindful. That means present and aware. That is the state, ideally, as humans, that we're supposed to be in. Now, right above that, when our sympathetic nervous system gets triggered because of arousal, because of stress, what happens is we move into fight or flight mode. Fight or flight. Again, yes, this can be in response to a life-threatening, circumstance, but it can also be in response to having two jobs and children to feed, or not living in a safe environment, or having a partner who makes you stressed out, right? So every day, many of us every day are living in fight or flight. We are living in chronic stress. And you can see down at the bottom, right? There's this little Casper the Ghost line, the black line that goes in and out. Ideally, we would be able to balance ourselves like that. So if I have, if I'm feeling present and mindful and I get stressed out, I'm able to quickly regulate and come back down. So it's up, down, ideally. But what happens with many of us is that we're living in a straight line in our sympathetic nervous system. And I bring that up, Julia, because what happens when we baseline in fight or flight is that social engagement coming back down to compassion, to connection and orientation to your environment, that feels like a threat. Our bodies love um, homeostasis, right? Which means that our body likes the familiar. It likes to be in a state where it knows what's going to happen and knows what to expect. If you're always stressed out, if you are always stressed out and you find yourself relaxing, your body's gonna be like, excuse me, what's going on here? Who dropped the ball? What are we doing? Right? That's why we have to make it a practice. We have to make it a practice to tolerate social engagement, to tolerate rest, to tolerate stillness, and you know, to be trauma informed, right? It doesn't always have to look like just sitting down and meditating in silence. It doesn't have to look like sensory deprivation. There are levels to this. There are levels to healing, just like there are levels to everything else. It might start off with just listening to brown noise. It might start off with just saying no to like one of the 100 tasks that you have that week. But there is a biological implication to living in fight or flight. Is your system, your nervous system becomes accustomed to that. And that's why then something like peace, something like sitting still, something like quiet can make you nervous, can make you feel uncomfortable. It's like, no, do something, like distract me, right? Something has to be going on. Okay. Thank you for sticking with me through that. Nerdy moment, y'all. I love talking about mind-body connection because we're integrated. Mind, body, spirit is one. I think society tries to make us forget that too often. So tell me, you guys, did you have enough time with the journaling prompts? If not, no worries. I'm about to I'll leave them up and I'm going to get the cards ready. Okay. And if anybody feels called to, please, again, feel free to share. Feel free to share your journaling prompt responses or any reflections that you have in the chat. Amazing. Okay. So let's get these cards cleansed. Julia, by the way, if you're still in here, I know that for me, and while I was getting used to silence and stillness and rest, also trying to manage my anxiety, it was very difficult for me to sit still, for me to tolerate silence, that type of stuff. I highly recommend like sound baths. Sound healing can be so powerful because it's a vibrational communication, right? It's an energetic alignment where your body is still being communicated with, right? So you're not in the complete silence where you might find yourself freaking out about that void or the dead space. But sound healing is a really beautiful way, especially if you learn to practice it yourself. But obviously, getting a session can be very beneficial too. All right. So I'm going to start with our tarot reading, you guys. And the first card that I'm going to pull is a reflection of what is the big dream in our soul, right? I'm using the Divine Abundance deck to really call to what it is that we are desiring and how we can be in alignment with abundance, be in alignment with really actually achieving our goals. What is it that is in our hearts and in our best desires and the desires of our highest self to come to fruition? Your path. This card says, your path. Can you see this? Dear Lord, help me trust that there's a plan far beyond what I could see through my fears and illusions. So, what I'm really pulling from this, what I'm getting from this, hold on, let me change my camera around. What I'm getting from the Divine Abundance card, telling us that your path is what is in our heart's deepest desire, is really in alignment with, like I mentioned, the new moon trining with Uranus right now. So this is a card that tells us, and Uranus is a planet that tells us it is time to innovate and it is time to be creative, to be rebellious, and be your most radical self. So your path is a card that says, perhaps in your heart's desire, what you really want is the best for you, right? What you really want is to be yourself. What you really want is to be seen, to be acknowledged, right? And to know that what's for you is for you. Maybe there's been competition, maybe there's been jealousy, right? Either on your end or from somebody else's even. But your path, when you are secure and walking in your path, you know that what's for you is for you. You're confident, right? You're authentic, you're genuine, and you're attracting on a very magnetic and a very powerful level because nobody else in the world can be you. Nobody else in the world can be you. Just like I said, sometimes we find ourselves, I'm guilty of it too, baby. Sometimes we find ourselves trying to cheat the process, or maybe not cheat, but like duplicate, which we find ourselves pulling inspiration a bit too much from other people's experiences, and we're trying to duplicate their outcomes. We're trying to duplicate their process, but your process is your own. Your process is your own, because if you get aligned to somebody else's path, then you're not going to attract what's for you. You're going to attract what's for them. You're going to attract what's for their clone, right? You have to be you. JS, Janique is making slow progress working on stillness with guided meditations. Yes, those are beautiful too. Because it's a way, somebody's there to kind of hold your hand through it, right? Again, I've been here, y'all. It has been a road. It has been a long road. But many of us who have not started being intentionally mindful, who have not been intentional about rest, when we sit down in silence, our minds completely mow us over, right? One of my weaknesses is music. Oh my God. I would think of the most random song and like not be able to stop hearing this song. Our minds go over the checklist of everything we need to do and the people we need to text back. But you are in control, right? You're in control of your mind, not what pops up, but where you choose to go based on what pops up. And guided meditations are a great way for somebody to kind of hold your hand along the way. So that's a great start, Janine. She said, I actually use some of your sound healing meditations as part of my ritual. My heart. Oh, that makes me so happy to hear. And I'm so glad that you're finding those rituals for yourself. So glad you're finding those rituals for yourself. I very much appreciate you. So I'm going to pull, what path will lead you closer to your dreams? So again, your path was the original heart's desire to find your own way. and authenticity and knowing through faith, right? Seeing beyond fear and illusion. But what path will lead you closer to that dream? The Page of Cups. So you can't see it. There we go. I have the Page of Cups, but it's in reverse, right? And I love reversals because they give us a bit of an idea of what's going on. Page of Cups is a card of emotion. It's a card of romanticizing. Really, the pages are the messenger. So they bring in the message of the particular element, right? So if cups are about our emotions, then the Page of Cups is telling us to really start tuning in, to get in alignment with our emotions. So a reversal is telling me that perhaps we've been disconnected, right? Maybe we have been in the extreme of that Capricorn energy, or we're preparing an extreme for that Capricorn energy, and not remembering that we need to be able to really make space to listen to ourselves, right? Make space to tune into our emotions, to rest, make space to feel good. The Page of Cups is a big romantic, and that looks like romanticizing your own life. And, I know that TikTok or YouTube will tell you that romanticizing your life looks like buying roses, which is cool. Buying roses and going out for like a 5-star dinner and, really cute outfits and going to the spa. But it can also look like romanticizing the mundane too, because we don't always have the resources or the energy to go out in the ways that I think, conventionally packaged society tells us to do. Romanticizing also looks like, okay, well, if I'm going to wash dishes, how can I make this an enjoyable and a luxurious experience for me, even in washing these dishes? Can you turn on music? Can you turn on music? Can you light candles, right? Like, how can we romanticize cleaning the house? Can we make this a dance party? Can you turn on certain lights? How can you romanticize work, going to work? Is there a route that you haven't taken before that you can learn to enjoy? Of course, as adding to those small areas of life, the mundane tasks, is really a matter of atomic habits. So what's difficult sometimes is when we just say, okay, well, on Fridays or once a month, I'm going to go get my nails and my hair and my feet done. Then you're just waiting, right? You're accumulating all that stress, all that frustration, all of the just woes of everyday life until that one day that you can be rewarded. But if you learn to take care of yourself, when you learn that you can romanticize along the way and seize every moment intentionally to tune into your feelings and take care of them, then you'll be able to walk along your path, right? You'll be able to attract that divine abundance even quicker, because now your mood, your vibration is high. You're in the state where you're ready to receive. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So let's look at who is going to support you on this path. Who or what can support you on this path? The King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles is very grounded. He is structured. He is organized. He has his shit together, right? Basically. And the King of Pentacles literally can be, for some of you guys, representing a masculine in your life. So this may be a brother. It might be a therapist, a professor. There is a motorcycle passing by. But there is somebody in your life, either a man or with masculine energy, that can provide some input on what it looks like really to get grounded in reality. Yeah, so in the energy too of Capricorn, right? Ambition, the long-term thinking. Sometimes we put our blinders on where all we can see is that goal, and we kind of lose sight of everything else, especially in the day to day, right? Especially in the day to day, we forget to romanticize life along the way. We forget to take care of ourselves and tune into our emotions along the way, because we're so busy trying to get to that goal. The King of Pentacles reminds us that we need to keep our feet planted in the ground. We can work toward our goals, but we can also make it practical, right? We can also make it feasible and take advice, receive help, receive organization, right, from somebody, especially when it comes to your finances. King of Pentacles is also telling us that you need to get your money in order. You need to get your money in order. If you have not been organized when it comes to your finances, this is absolutely time. So it may be somebody coming with a financial gift, like a donation or an investment. It might be somebody who offers you wisdom. Maybe this is an invitation to consider financial advising, right, from the King of Pentacles. That's going to help you get to your goals. If we are experiencing financial stress, if we're experiencing financial insecurity, then it is very hard to focus on achieving our other goals, because as Maslow's hierarchy says, as our chakra system says, we must feel secure. We must feel rooted and safe in our identity. And in this world, that comes at a cost, unfortunately, right? We have to be able to pay rent. We have to be able to buy food. We have to be able to pay for parking. We have to be able to pay taxes. When we don't know, when there is a blockage with our finances, it is indirectly a threat to our well-being. So getting your finances in order, be open to receive help from this energy. Please, if somebody offers you financial assistance, whether it be education, actual money, do not say no. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm talking to me. I'm channeling myself back in the day. I used to be like, nah, I don't need it. If you don't open your hands and your heart and receive. J. Angel Rahani says, true. Yeah. So that is what we have to do. A sugar daddy. Okay. I'm not judging. I'm not judging. If the masculine energy is there to present you with help and assistance, receive, right? Just make sure you aren't giving too much on the back end. Make sure you're comfortable with what you're getting out of the investment. Be wary of people who might come in and try to manipulate you with that, right? So if you have perhaps a parent, I have a client who has family. I have multiple clients with family who will offer you help, but then hold it over your head forever. If that's triggering for you, then maybe not them, right? Maybe not that particular member. Or be open to receiving from this member that this time, and just don't give a fuck that they're holding it over your head. The only reason they hold it over your head is because it gets so under your skin. But if you tell them, yeah, you gave it to me, and what? Oh, that's what I thought, right? It takes the steam. It takes the steam out of it. It takes away their power. So, okay, how does your definition of success need to change? How can we reframe our definition of success en route of as we try to achieve our goals? How can we change our definition of success as we achieve these goals? So we have the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands reversed. Again, y'all, the energy is so loud. It is so loud. This is telling us to slow down. Slow down. So the Eight of Wands is a card of action. It's a card of movement. It's a card of luck. Where sometimes, you've ever been unprepared for something, maybe like a teacher calls on you in class and you don't fucking know the answer, but you just say something and she's like, great. That is kind of Eight of Wands card, right? It's kind of dumb luck. and not dumb in the sense of there wasn't preparation, but like it's favored. Um, in reverse, that favor is gone. That favor is gone, and it's and moving at this speed can put us in positions where we are now vulnerable to reaping serious consequences, right, of haphazard movement, or at least just not in that same favor. Things may not go the way that we want them to. So the Eight of Wands in reverse is telling us to slow down. That's how we redefine our definition of success, by recognizing, again, like I said, 7 year 2023 is a number 7 year. Number 7 is one of practical science infusing with magic. So we are looking at a very strategic and logical approach to manifesting. So yes, we want to take the magic and the spirituality of, giving birth to our ideas and the rituals and all of those beautiful things that come with it, but we want to do it well. We want to research. We want book research, articles research, feet on the ground research. We want experience. Get connected with people. Get connected with people. Listen to their stories, right? We want to make sure that we're able to really feel confident, so that if and when things do pick up, we know where we're going, right? We know, oh, okay, well, this is next, because otherwise you can end up manifesting quicker than you're ready to. And I need to make a whole other video on that, because that that puts a lot of our people, my community, it puts us in very dangerous positions when we manifest something quicker than we are actually ready to handle it. And we don't want to be in that position. I don't want to see that for y'all. I don't want to see that for me either. J Angel Raw Honey, you're a Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Mercury. Jesus Christ. I'm good with saving, but I've noticed I'm spending more. A man came into my life and tried to take advantage of that. Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah. That was you, baby. This card was for you. You want to make sure that you are trusting. Make sure you're trusting the person that is coming into your life with offering, right? Make sure that you're vetting the characters of the people. I have so many conscious conversation videos on my channel. Please watch those if you haven't. I have so many videos talking about why it's important to vet the character of people before we invest ourselves in them. So I'm glad you're aware of that, J Angel. And this phase is going to be really powerful for you with all of that Capricorn alignment. Janique, you do it all the time as an impulsive Aries. It's okay. It's okay to have impulses, but perhaps this is a time where you can start practicing, practice just recording those impulses, right? I feel this all the time too, where like I just love to do what I want, when I want, how I want. Like the concept of time stresses me out. Like I just kind of like the freedom to move as I wish, but it's not practical. So writing down like, oh, I want to do this, make a note of it. Make a note, whether it's a post-it note, whether you have a journal, right? Keep the ideas there, so that you can revisit them. And you might find that even after writing something down, 10 minutes later, you can read that back and be like, why did I, what? What was I thinking? Why did I want that, right? And more importantly, speaking of the new moon and introspection, it is very powerful to ask yourself, at the root of XYZ thing that I'm trying to do or that I want to buy, or this person, what do I really want, right? What is the value that I'm trying to extract from this? For example, I'll make it quick. I really wanted clothes. I found myself like so stressed out. Like every time I get dressed, I'm like, oh, I don't have anything to wear, and blah, 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 blah. I want clothes, but like I want to spend $500 on a shopping spree. Like I don't want to go buy a new shirt. I need a new wardrobe. And I found it stressing me out, where I was just like, damn, I'm not in a place where I can do that financially. And what am I doing in my life? And why is it like this? And I asked myself, well, Lauren, why do you want so many new clothes? Like, what is this about? And I recognize that what I really want, I've gained weight. I've gained weight since moving to Mexico, 30, 30 pounds. So naturally my clothes fit different. And I find myself feeling very uncomfortable in my clothes sometimes because I moved to Mexico. I got a lot of crop tops and little things. And I feel kind of naked in my more fluffy state in those clothes. And I recognized what I really wanted was to feel comfortable in my body. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, yeah, clothes is like the surface level approach to getting that comfort. But what I can do, what is accessible to me, right, that doesn't feel like a roadblock, what is accessible to me is eating right and exercising, moving my body, right? Not letting stress override my metabolism. Like there are ways that I can intervene when I really look underneath the impulse. So I challenge you to do that. I challenge you to do that, Janique. Yeah. Julia, your Uranus, Neptune, and North Node are in Capricorn. You don't understand it yet, but it's starting to make sense. Girl, hold on. Where's my deck? I have a deck. I'm relatively new to this astrology stuff. I've been researching. It's been a long road coming, but I decided this summer that I'm going to get serious about it. I was gifted. Sorry, y'all, my cat. I was gifted this set, and that's how I know it was divine, child. I was gifted this Black Moon astrology card set. They break down aspects, the squares, the nodes, the Lilith, the astrological signs, the planet, like the comets, all types of it, all types of stuff. It is in the link in my description box. I have it in my Amazon storefront. Um, it really is very helpful. It has a bunch of cards, as you can see. I have them all coded now because I'm trying to figure it out. It has a bunch of cards and a guidebook. So it's a great way to get started learning astrology if you're kind of physical like me. I'm old. I'm old, baby. I was born in the 90s. I like to learn with like a pencil and a flashcard the way we used to before we had computers. So, yeah, I highly recommend that. Okay, so let me get back to the spread for y'all. My bad. So, okay, spread one again is a reminder that our soul's desire is really to walk our own path. Stop trying to duplicate and replicate somebody else's success. Stop trying to duplicate and replicate somebody else's outcomes, their aesthetics, even. You are beautifully and wonderfully and uniquely made. And when we kind of pull into this energy, right, the Uranus trine, new moon, when we pull into that energy, we remember that we are in alignment with our highest self and we are being radically authentic. So don't let fear, especially fear of how you're being perceived, do not let that stop you, because that is how you get to that divine abundance. That's how, when you show up radically as yourself. The path that will lead you closer to this dream is taking more time to tune into your emotions. Do not block them out. Romanticize life. Don't get so caught up in reaching your goals that you are kind of building a wall around your heart, that you're not stopping to smell the roses, that you're not stopping to call a friend, right? We really want to continue to be in alignment with the messages that we're hearing, especially when it comes to your intuition. Your intuition, your body has wisdom, and your intuition is the way that it taps into that. You will be supported on this path by masculine, either a man or a masculine energy that tells you to get your finances in order, to get your possessions in order. This is even an invitation to clean up. If there is clutter in your home, get it out. Get it out. Get organized, get structured, and be open to receiving Be open to receiving financial advice, especially, right? Financial advisor, financial gifts. Be open to investment. Don't turn a hand. Do not turn a hand to opportunities for gifts if you trust where it's coming from. And then finally, we have a reminder that your definition of success needs not be rooted in how quickly you can do it. It is how well you can do it. It is how well you can do it. Quality over quantity is going to be the most important, especially with the year 2023 being a universal 7 year, which is about doing the research, taking your time, and really being strategic about what it is about your magic, right? Be strategic, plan, research, be fully informed about how you're using your magic. It's also a reminder to use your spiritual practices, get grounded in your spiritual practices so that you can be attuned to your own emotions, right? So that you do when your wisdom, when your intuition is telling you something, you are able to decipher it. Right, honey, you've been cleaning, decluttering, and getting rid of stuff. Yeah, look, you are in alignment again with that like quadruple, quadruple Capricorn placement right now. That's going to serve you because just like as within, as above, so below, as within, so without. And our environment is a representation of how we're feeling on the inside. So if you have a cluttered home, if you haven't, cleaned the corner of the corner of the living room, or you have that closet that's just building up, best believe there are areas in your life, whether it be your emotions, your body, your thoughts, there are areas in your life that you're ignoring too, that are cluttered up, that need structure, that need organization. So just as these cards have been reflecting in the outside world, it's also a reminder of applying that internally as well. Okay, I got one more little spread. It's not little, but I got one more spread. What foundations can we lay down to succeed right now? I'll try to make this quicker so I can give y'all sound baths and y'all can be out for the night. The foundation you need to lay to succeed right now is, this is giving me faith. This is giving me, it's also in alignment with get your money right, right? Plan long-term financially, but also 10 of Pentacles. This is a very fulfilling card, right? So this represents a time that things are well. So you want to basically make sure that you're manifesting energetically the energy of abundance, but also getting your actual finances in order, as well as just your materials, right? So this can also look like doing the research, getting the long-term preparation for that success that's on the way. Those are the bare bones of what you need to lay down. The finances, behavior. So that looks like, the way what your money perhaps goals and plans are, but it also looks like your spending behaviors. How can you bring more attention? How can you introspect and be more intentional about the way you spend your money? Where do we need to apply patience? Whatever it is that you're learning. So this is this is also in alignment. The Eight of Pentacles tells us to be apprentices, to really, really put in the hours to master our craft. When you master your craft, I'm of the belief that money, right? That money is just a physical representation of value. And what we provide in this world in exchange for money is value. Now, we're all born with value, the greatest value, which is our time. But because we have to learn to exchange it for money, we want to create value where other people, right? Other people say, I want to give you money for that. So whether your craft be, being the HR manager at your job, whether your craft be art, whether your craft be cooking, yoga, right? Whatever you're doing, you need to make sure that you're really tuning in to mastering your craft. That is going to lay the foundation for the success, especially financially. The pentacles are all about your material groundedness. So taking that time to do the research, sorry, yeah, my mom called me. Taking that time to do the research, and to really get your ducks in a row, that's going to allow you to manifest the value, right? That people will not be able, you won't be able to fend them off when you really perfect your craft, right? People don't what is it called? Jordans sell out. Jordans sell out every opening because people are sitting there waiting to throw money at that man, right? Or at that shoe. In a recession, in a recession, in a inflation, in the midst of anything, people will find what they deem valuable. So stick to building your value. Let's see. Plans. Plans. What long-term plans are in alignment with these goals? Page of Knives. Or swords, really. But when we think about swords, this is about our thoughts. It's about our mental state, right? So we really want to be able to get our thoughts in order and to be able to decipher, right? Not just our own internal monologue, but this is also an element of communication. We want to be able to communicate with others, perhaps thinking about your speaking skills, right? If you're about to be your most radical and authentic self to the world, you need to learn how to express it, right? You need to learn how to be able to communicate that to the world and with the world, right? So start practicing. You know what I'm hearing? I'm hearing that some of us um, could benefit from talking in the mirror. Yeah. Like, I don't know if you guys do mirror work. That's a type of glamour magic, one of my favorites. But just getting in the mirror, really look at yourself, record yourself, right? Taking videos of yourself and just getting used to how you come across and how you like to express and communicate. It can really provide a lot of insight. Um, this is also telling us though to make wise decisions, right? Make informed decisions and to really think things through. Really, really think things through, especially new ideas that may come with innovation. Speaking to that Uranus energy. Ambition. Where can we think bigger? I know I've spent most of this spread telling us, telling us that we need to slow down and enough is enough, but there are always areas for improvement. So, where can we think bigger as a collective? I love this for us. I love this for us. Nine of Cups. This is an invitation really to I'm hearing gratitude, right? I'm hearing that it's about recognizing what we have done so far. How can you be even bigger? How can you be even bigger in the way that you celebrate yourself? How can you be even louder? How can you be even louder in the way that you romanticize your life, right? How can you really tap into satisfaction, feeling satisfied? And it's ironic because, I assumed, here go my ego, I assumed that this was going to be a card that told us, work more in communication or whatever. But even this card is telling us we need to do bigger and just being okay, just being satisfied with what we're doing, with the work that we're doing. It also is telling me to also make sure that you're doing work that you're proud of. Yeah. Don't be half-assing. Don't be half-assing stuff. Again, this is not the year for that. This is the year for research. This is the year for intention. You really want to do things that you're proud of. So think bigger. Perhaps reevaluate your goals even, right? Are they scaring you? They should scare you a little bit. They should make you nervous. They should make your booty clench a little bit. So think bigger about what it is that you can even accomplish. Take your goal and tweak it, right? Take your goal and turn it up like 2.5 decibels and see what that looks like for you, especially if this year you're being intentional about taking your time and doing it right. Finally, where do you need support? Where can you be supported, or where can you support others? And then I'll get into our sound bath, guys. Where do you need support? How and where can you support others? Seven of Wands. So this is a card saying, reminding you that when you get to a place that you've been working towards, especially, if you're in the process of working toward that place, there might be others who are trying to troll you, trying to antagonize you, especially who are envious and want to be where you are. So support might look like getting advocates, right? I often tell people when I see this card that you need to pick your battles. You need to be really intentional about what you are deciding to give your energy to, what fights you're deciding to fight. And yeah, that can mean like literally, if you are in conflict, but it could also look like, do I have to do all 10 of these things that I want to get done today? Can I choose, right? Can I reserve my energy? Hello. Thank you, Mr. Simon. Can I preserve my energy in the midst of all of this, right? Can I preserve my energy to take on the most important task so that I don't have to burn myself out and wear myself thin? Because the Seven of Wands, again, is a card you can see. I love the Rider-Waite, but this is depicted in this card too. He's on top, right? So, or this character is on top of his game right now, metaphorically. He's at a peak, at least climbing a peak. And the wands, right? The conflict, the antagonizing, child. The antagonizing is coming from below. So know that when you get to a place, when you are really working towards your goals, those things are beneath you. I'm sorry, I just gotta say it. A lot of things are going to be beneath you. If you're really tapping into the energy of this spread and the energy of 2023, you need to really focus on choosing your battles and not, if when you're building quality, you can't do everything at once. You can't tap into everybody else's energy. You can't do all the things people invite you to. You can't go. You need to choose. Be very intentional about defending what it is that you are, your convictions, your values, your goals, right? Be prepared to defend that because there will very likely be some challenges and you need to be ready. So also consider your support system in this. I don't know how serious this may be for some of y'all. This is a card often too that talks about or that recommends even legal defense, right? So depending on what types of challenges come your way, just get prepared. Get prepared to be able to stand your ground. And remember that even if you are feeling antagonized, even if you are feeling attacked, you're still above it, right? You're still in the right place. You only fall if you get down and fight with them, right? You only fall if you get down and muddy up your own energy with them. So let's close this out. Let's close this out with a moon card. This is the Queen of the Moon Oracle, and it just reminds us how some of the lunar patterns, what messages they can give us, and moving forward with all of this that we are reflecting on today. Protection. So really, I think this is an amplification of this last card when it comes to supporting your goals, supporting your dreams. Protection is going to be really important. That looks like protecting your energy, yes, your physical safety, yes, but also protecting your goals, right? So if this card is accurate in saying that you might get challenged, people with envy might be coming for your spot, right? There might be competition. You need to really think about, who are you engaging with, right? Who are you telling? Who are you telling your deepest secrets? Who are you sharing your ideas with? Who are you partnered with? And are they somebody that you can trust? Are these people that you can trust? Now, of course, right, that doesn't mean that we become apprehensive, that we become cold and distant or detached, but it is an invitation to, again, vet the character. Check out my conscious conversations to understand some of those dynamics. I talk about it through the lens of celebrities because that's the only way people listen to me nowadays. But they are very real things underneath, right? So think about how you can protect yourself in regards to others, but also with yourself. Please don't make this a year, or don't have this be a season where you are talking negatively about yourself. A lot of us have a vicious internal dialogue, internal voice. We call them inner critics. And every time you listen to that inner critic, you're hurting yourself. Yeah. Every time you self deprecate, that is abuse. That is an act of self harm. And it's harder to validate because physical harm is visible, right? We can see the black eye, we can see the cuts. But when you talk to yourself, when you entertain thoughts about yourself that are harmful, that are deprecating, that are mean, you are also causing pain in here, right? Your emotional, spiritual self. Really, really try to embrace speaking to yourself with love, right? Even the way you speak about the world, when you find yourself getting ready to complain, when you find yourself getting ready to fuss, to tear somebody else down, pull it back and reframe. Because again, the energy that you have here is what's going to manifest and attract for you. So when you start looking at things from a place of love, from a place of gratitude, from a place of humility, of what can I learn in this? What is this teaching me? What is this giving me the opportunity to learn? I'm thankful for this lesson. You will continue to receive blessings. Yeah. Yes. Be careful with who you are sharing with. You don't want to put yourself in a vulnerable position, y'all. Okay, so give me a second. I'm going to get the sound bowls ready. I just need to move my camera. I'll put the journal prompts back on the screen by themselves, and then I'll play us out tonight. Paris, by the way, I'm using your microphone. Thank you. Ooh, sorry, let me mute myself, y'all. Okay, guys. Ooh. Y'all see all my cards on the floor. Okay. So Actually, I'm gonna leave the journal prompts on the side as well, so you can continue to reflect. Now, my cats love, they love getting down with me, man. Anytime I'm on the floor, yoga, sound bowls, stretching, they're like, oh, we kicking it. Well, I'm going to do a sound bath, guys, so we can kind of close out this energy. Really take a minute. I know we did a lot of talking. I know we did a lot of reflecting. Take this time to kind of just let it all settle. Take this time to let it all settle in. We did a lot of thinking. We did a lot of um, upper energy registering through our minds. See what your body has to say. See how your body responds. If you are in a comfortable space, go ahead and lay down. Maybe put one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. And feel the rhythm of breath move through your body. Express gratitude and allow yourself to sit in stillness. And wherever you are, just take a few more breaths. Maybe move your fingers, blink your eyes open if they were closed. Get into your body. Notice what downloads, whoops, notice what downloads, what wisdom your body had to offer, and express gratitude in the spirit of introspection. Maybe journal what came up for you. Um, but y'all, that's it. That is the end of this circle. Here, I'm just gonna grab the camera. That's the end of my new moon circle. Thank you guys so much to Eddie who showed up. Um, Let me know if you want more of this. I also have a website, thahighestpriestess.com. If you want a more specific or personal reading or reading in another area in your life, I do astrocartography, I do spiritual counseling and mentoring. Visit my website and we can tap in, be in alignment there. Thank you guys so much for being here. More importantly, thank yourselves for making the time for yourself to come here and really feed your soul. I am on all social media platforms, Facebook now, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube at The Highest Priestess. That's The Highest Priestess with an A, and the website is also with an A. J. Angel, Bra Honey, Julia, Janique, Taylor, Mr. Simon. Thank you guys so much for being here. My cat's ready to go, y'all. She's sick of me. Thank you guys so much for being here. And yeah, I will see you on the internet somewhere. On the internet somewhere another day. You enjoyed it. I love that. I love to hear it. Yeah, I can do a full moon one if y'all want. you know I'm going to keep offering these until spirit tells me to stop. So until then, I'll see y'all on the next full moon. Bye, y'all. Ooh, wait, that all right.